Hey guys, it's Adam from the Wilderness Perspective. So today I wanted to bring you guys on a little adventure with me to Hanging Rock down in Scott County, Virginia. That's between Coburn and Dungannon. We're going to do a little bit of hiking, a little bit of looking around in the woods here. Going to try to identify some things. I'll show you guys some cool things in the woods, and maybe even do a little bit of trout fishing. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do a whole lot of hiking today because the trail is closed up past a certain point. There were some pretty heavy rainfalls last year that really destroyed some of the parts of the trail. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this. So before we really got started today, I wanted to go over something with you guys that was really exciting that's going on in my life here the last couple of weeks. So I just recently graduated, quote unquote, a Virginia Master Naturalist course. I joined the High Knob chapter down in Norton, Virginia, and basically a Virginia Master Naturalist is somebody who knows, a little bit of everything about a lot of different subjects in nature. And I learned so much over those couple of months that I was in that program, more than I even began to thought was going to be possible in that short amount of time. I learned about geology, dendrology, entomology. For people who don't know what that stuff is, entomology is bugs, dendrology is trees. I learned about medicinal plants, some edible plants. I learned about how to use dichotomous keys. I mean, it was a really, really amazing experience, and I would totally suggest anybody who is in Virginia to join a chapter somewhere nearby. So at the moment, I'm not a certified Virginia Master Naturalist. I still have to get 8 hours of continuing education and 40 hours of community service hours put in before the end of the year. So that's really exciting, and I hope that you guys may look into that for yourselves in the future. So first time being here, what are my initial thoughts? It's a beautiful drive up here to the parking area. There's a nice creek that flows right along it. Some good rocky outcrops. I believe it would be pretty awesome for trout fishing. What's this on your head? Well, I forgot to tell you about this earlier, but I bought this bandana back at the Pine Naturalist Rally, Pine Mountain Naturalist Rally, and it's got a map of all the High Knob, basically all the High Knob waterways. It doesn't have a lot of the trails on there, but it does have this trail on there, so I can find myself, hopefully, if I were to get lost. Now, in my initial thoughts, other than the beauty of the area, are it's got a lot to offer here. You've got your bathroom, you got some trash receptacles, and you got quite a few picnic areas. There's some more on over through the trails that way. The plant life here is pretty beautiful. Right off, I see some redbud trees, some tulip poplars. Let's see what else I can see. I have to get a little closer. Some oaks. There's a maple. So there's a lot of diversity here. So let's go talk about some more. So this little plant right here, that is called American cancer root, or you may have heard it called bear corn before. Right beside it here, we have a Downy rattlesnake plantain. It is a beautiful little plant. It really sticks out in the woods whenever you walk by it. Let's see what we may have over here. I'm not positive about this, but this should be in the violet family. Got some dandelion here, of course. We're walking down to the river, and they have it posted here. Stocked trout water, no lure restrictions, catch and release only. Got some Virginia creeper. A lot of people grow up thinking that that is actually poison oak, but I've just recently learned that that is not. It's Virginia creeper. This looks like we may have a Solomon seal here. So you can see where there were little flowers hanging down off the bottom end of this. And parts of the Solomon seal plant are actually edible. I've eaten the berries off of it before, the little green berries. I've never eaten them any riper than that, but it tastes kind of like a sweet pea. But there is a false Solomon seal you want to stay away from. If you've got the flowers and the berries and stuff hanging off of the tip of it, do not get away from it. But don't take my word for it. Do your own research. this looks like it may be in the ginger family. Let's see. Aha! This is Little Brown Jug. So you can see how the flower is down at the base of the plant, and it's not very opened up. It's very closed up on the tip. But that looks like a little brown jug, and that's why the plant is called that. It's related to ginger. I'm still new to ferns, but if you guys have an idea of what this one is, please correct me. I believe that this is what's called a Christmas fern because of the dark green colors. Supposedly it stays green up until almost Christmas time. Again, just down from the Christmas fern, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this may be a New York fern, I believe is what it's called. It forms colonies in the forest. So when you run into these, they will be all over the place. Let's see here, somebody once told me to look at the bottom leaves. I'll probably get more excited than I should when I see this one. I've featured it in a video before, and I will probably feature it many times in the future when I run across it. But this is called Pipsissewa, or spotted wintergreen. And these are ready to bloom. They've not quite opened up yet. But again, it's supposed to be good for fevers, I've heard, and good for kidney stones if you make a tea out of them. We've seen a lot just walking down to the river from the car, maybe about 50 feet. But here's some more stuff. Well, there's a beetle on there. But this square stem, it's in the mint family. This is what's called lyre leaf sage, and there is a part of it that is edible. I can't remember right off which portion it was. Lyre leaf sage. So just over from the lyre leaf sage, we have sassafras. Sassafras has 3 different leaf shapes. So here we have 3 lobes. Here's 2, like a mitten. And here's the one by itself. You can break the leaf, crush it up and smell it, and it has a very sweet aroma to it. That reminds me, it's almost lemony, but maybe your grandparents or your parents may have talked about making sassafras tea whenever they were younger. But they found that it's actually carcinogenic, so you don't want to use the root, I believe it is, as they used to do. Here we have a couple little, or maybe just one, witch hazel plant. So witch hazel has earlobes at the bottom where it meets the stem that are not lined up correctly. They're off center, and it's also used medicinally, but I'm unsure exactly how. I've never used it myself. And just behind it is a patch of greenbrier. Greenbrier is pretty cool. I think the scientific name for it is smilax. The root you can dry out and crush up, and it actually is like a form of what's it called? Pectin. It makes gelatin. So I look forward to trying that one day. And just over here to the right, I'm just now learning about these, but this is a skull cap of some sort. I'm not sure which variety, but it is skull cap in the middle of some poison ivy, it looks like. So this is another variation in the ginger family. A lot of people actually call this one Little Brown Jug, but I believe this one's actually called Variable Leaf Heartleaf. As hopefully you can see, its leaf or its flower is very different than that of the Little Brown Jug. It's more opened up and has more purplish colors to it. So we've run into quite a few little plants over here. So this here, it's got the world leaves, and it goes up and it does the world leaves again. There's several of them here. And that is called Indian cucumber. Now, if we keep going, I believe this is some dwarf crested iris. It's already bloomed and left. But back here we have a jack-in-the-pulpit. A couple of them. Very cool little guys. There's Jack inside the pulpit. This is an interesting little plant here, but it's not doing too well. But this is called a Indian pipe, or maybe a ghost flower. I don't know which ones you may have heard before. Yeah, they're broken. So there's one down here too that was broken. But what makes those so cool is they have no chlorophyll. They're actually a parasitic plant, and they, if I remember correctly, they parasitize off of a mushroom that parasitizes off of a tree. So for that to even come about is a pretty amazing thing. So the Solomon seal that I was telling you about earlier with the berries on it, here is an example. So as a mushroom lover, I just found into something, run into something really special. There's a lot of these old shelf mushrooms. They're very old. They're dark red on top. I mean, they're very old. But got bugs all over me. It is on what I believe to be a hemlock tree, mainly because of these. These are new varnished mushrooms. And I've been told that those are very medicinal. Again, do your own research before you consume anything from the wild. Well, I've got something on the line. I wasn't expecting this. Let's check it out. Well, that is my first rainbow trout, guys. Awesome! Alright, so we're done fishing for now. And now we're back up near the parking lot, and there seems to be some trails here. Just exploring these trails. Looks like maybe old campsites. Alright, so it just opens up into another site here. Plenty of firewood here. Yeah, I was just down there. It's a nice little shelter here. The big pit here to cook on. Got some May apples here. Very private out here. You know, maybe it's because it's a Tuesday, or maybe it's because not many people come out here anymore. Could also be because the trail is closed. Just a little bit up the trail there, so I don't know. But today it's very private. What we got here? Job Corps project, constructed by Flatwood Civilian Conservation Center, 1967. U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, in cooperation with Office of Economic Opportunity. A bunch of really nice hemlocks here next to the parking area. I looked at a few of them here, and it doesn't look like the woolly adelgid has made. Ooh, doesn't look like the woolly adelgid has made it here, which is a good thing. Woohoo! Celebrate! let's go see what we can actually hike. So when you're hiking, it's always important to follow the blazes that are put on the trail. If you go off the path, then you could very easily get lost. And honestly, it's not suggested to go off the path at all anyways, because you're destroying habitats of other creatures whenever you're doing that. So it's always good to stay on the path and pick up your trash. Don't throw it on the ground. Leave no trace, okay? Leave only footprints. Oh, so this must be why it's called Hanging Rock. That rock face up there has a top lip. It's hanging off. Ooh, we got some mushrooms. Let's see what we got here. Oh, hey buddy. Hanging Rock. It's a very short walk from the parking lot to get here. Maybe a 1/10 of a mile. So if you want to come see the Hanging Rock, it won't take long. Fossils down here. Oh man. I know I said I was done fishing, but that looks pretty nice. Right, number one on this spot. Come on out there, you line. No, 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 no. That time I got him. Oh no! Oh, he broke it off. Alright guys, so I hope you've enjoyed the video today. We got to identify some plants together, got to see a little bit of the trail, even got to catch a few trout. So if you liked what you saw, subscribe, comment, like our Facebook page, follow our Instagram. Just look up the Wilderness Perspective, and we'll see you next time.